Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So we are continuing with the 12 days of Christmas. I'm trying to upload every single day for 12 days leading up to Christmas. I started on December 1st and I've been pretty successful, I would say, so far. And today we're continuing with the 12 days of Christmas, and I am coming to you with a video all about new makeup product that I tried, or even new makeup brands that I tried in 2022. If you guys like unfiltered makeup opinions and honest reviews, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and let's get into all of this. Let's talk about this product that I tried in 2022 that was completely new to me. We're talking brands and we're talking some product, because there were some brands in 2022 that I had only tried like certain specific things from them, or I hadn't tried anything at all from that brand. If you guys are interested in my makeup on my face today, it will be in the description box down below. So we are going to start off with what is on my face today. What is on my face today? For the eyeshadow palette, and I thought this was great because this was a brand that I tried in 2022, and that would be Oden's Eye. I do have the Christmas collection from Oden's Eye. I was introduced to this brand when Angelica Nyqvist did her collaboration with Oden's Eye Hela palette from Oden's Eye. Oden's Eye is a Swedish independent brand. I have been keeping my eye on Oden's Eye, no pun intended, but I have been keeping my eye on Oden's Eye because there were some great releases that they had. Some great releases I did end up passing on just because I didn't think I needed to add it to my collection, but then I did add the two from the Christmas collection, and they are absolutely stunning. So I do have 3 palettes. I feel like I can give you guys like a pretty good honest review of the quality of the Oden's Eye palettes. Like, if you're looking for a great blendable, buildable formula, the mattes in these palettes are stunning. And I have noticed across the board with all 3 of these palettes that they are beautiful. The mattes, they go on your eye super smooth, they're blendable, easy to build up. There's no patchiness at all. Like, I have found that their formula is consistent across all of their palettes. And a lot of their palettes, like, they contain either a duochrome or a multi-chrome. So even in the Hela palette from Angelica Nyqvist, this does have some multi-chromes in it. It has some duochromes in it. And even their foil shades are just absolutely stunning on the eye. They're very like metallic, reflective. They are just one of a kind. Their formula is one of a kind. I have found a lot with their duochrome palettes. Like, this is the Merry Christmas palette. This one has a lot of duochromes and a lot of multi-chromes in it, and it is so stunning. Some of the formulas are kind of like, they feel creamy, not necessarily like they feel like a wet cream formula. A lot of their, like, this one definitely does feel like a wet cream formula. So does this one. And sometimes I feel like, consistency wise, if I were to compare it to like another formula that it really reminds me of, that I could really compare it to, but it's not even really like that, would be like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. That's what they feel like to me, but they perform way better than a Super Shock shadow because they're so pigmented. Oden's Eye was like one of the best brands that I tried in 2022. And another brand that I tried in 2022, I have to be really careful with this palette because it actually ended up breaking, but it's so pretty. This is another independent brand. This was actually like a palette that they release single shadows like all the time, and they released this palette, and I was like, I need this palette. I need to try their formula finally. And that is Klarity Kosmetics. This is another indie brand. This is the Dragonfruit palette with Emily Violet Marie. Like, the hinge is broken, so it's really hard for me to open this. But this is an all foil, duochrome, multi-chrome formula. And this just gave me the opportunity to try the Clionadh formula in general. And I am so incredibly impressed with this palette. Like, you could take this palette, pair it with like a a neutral palette, and then you are set. Like, you have all these beautiful, even these like pink and purple foil shades are so easy to work with, and you can create them into like an everyday look. And then you have some of these brighter green shades in here. You have some of the duochromes, some of the multichromes. Overall, this is just a stunning formula, a stunning palette in general, but it really gave me some insight into the Clionadh formula, and I have heard that it is exactly the same as like their single shadows. Now, Clionadh is known for their stained glass collection, which is it's just out of this world, iridescent, beautiful multi-chrome formula and duochrome formula. However, like their stained glass formula, the collection of those, they tend to retail for like $100 or $200, and I'm just like, I can't do it. So the Dragonfruit palette did come with 2 highlighters, so I was able to try the 2 highlighters as well. And they also had brushes that came with it too. So I tried their eyeshadow formula, their highlighter formula, and their brushes, and I was super impressed with them. We're going into another indie brand. In 2022, there were so many indie brands that I decided to try this year because I am a firm believer in shopping small, supporting small businesses, and just really diving into these small independent brands that are in makeup. They don't get a lot of hype. They don't get a lot of talk sometimes. Now, Oden's Eye and Clionadh have been on like the radar of people for 2022, but I feel like this brand really hasn't been. It hasn't gotten as much hype as what it should, and that would be Klarity Kosmetics. So my actual first purchase from them was Mauve Wedding. And then I went on their site and I purchased I Love Coffee, which is literally a coffee themed palette. Like, if you know me, like, I love coffee, and this is one of my favorite neutral palettes because of the range of cool tones and warm tones in this palette, as well as like the foil shades they're just to die for. They're just so creamy, so buttery. I know people don't like that word, but they are. They're buttery. They feel just like they melt into your skin. Like, it is so pretty. And I honestly don't understand how. Like, that's one swipe, guys. I have nothing on my finger. Like, how do they get their formula to be this good? Their foil shades are just so beautiful. And that's honestly across the board. Every single palette that I have from Klarity Kosmetics, their foil formula is just insanely good. I purchased the Apocalypse palette. I was waiting for this palette for weeks. I saw the sneak peeks on their Instagram. I saw that it was going to have a whole bunch of multi-chromes in it, and I was like, I'm there for it. I will support your brand if you come out with a palette that has all these multi-chromes in it. I'm still there for it. Like, look how big these pan sizes are. They are huge. You never get a multi-chrome formula with a pan size that is this big. It is so beautiful. The multi-chromes in here I have worn on numerous occasions as an everyday eyeshadow look, either as like just an eyeliner, or I put it all over my lid. It is so pretty. So to whom it may concern, this one I think is my favorite one because it does, like, look at that shift. Like, oh, stop. And like, when you actually swatch it on your arm, usually you do like a base with it, but it still swatches absolutely stunning. Like, this formula in general and this palette is just so original, so unique. The quality is absolutely beautiful. I think they did a fantastic job with this, and it's so fun to play with. It's just very out of the box. So that is the Klarity Kosmetics Apocalypse palette. And again, I find across the board with all of my Klarity palettes that they are exactly the same formula. Now, they are an independent brand. They are a small business. So the quality of these is just, it is so beautiful. And the fact that they make it affordable is like, that to me speaks volumes. I do have a couple more like indie brands to talk about, and then we're kind of talk about some like mainstream brands that I did try for the first time this year. So the other independent brand that I did try this year would be the Sydney Grace eyeshadow formula. This is actually in Mel's memory, and I did a full video on my YouTube just kind of talking about this palette, doing a eyeshadow look with it. I personally think that the In Mel's Memory Retro Glam Palette, which is what this is. She did a fantastic job. I loved that Sydney Grace got permission from Mel's family to sell this bundle, and then they're donating a portion of the sales back to Mel's family. Like, what makeup brand does that? That is such a beautiful thing that they do. They even still sell the Tiny Marvels palette, which was Mel's collaboration with Sydney Grace, like the actual collabed palette, and they donate a proceed of their sales from that as well. Personally, to me, this is like the perfect eyeshadow palette for the holiday season. And I love the Oden's eye palettes. I think they're absolutely beautiful, but for an everyday makeup wearer, this is the palette that you want to invest in. These are the single shades that you want to invest in. If it is available, I'll put it in the description box down below so you guys can order it. It is a perfect combination of greens, neutrals, and it does have some like, so take off the last 2 rows because those were things that I just added in to fill the palette and make it a little, give it a little something at the end there. But this is Mel's palette right here. And it is so beautiful. I love the pops of pink. I love the neutral colors, the green shades in here. Like if you're a mint green eyeshadow wearer, like this is the perfect rendition of the retro palette. I think Mel did it better than Natasha Denona. And I really like the Sydney Grace formula. It is beautiful. I'd heard amazing things about Sydney Grace, how their foils were just like so metallic and they looked beautiful on your eyes. But until I tried it, I didn't know, and now I do, and I'm so glad that I do. Now let's talk about makeup from, it's kind of a mainstream brand. Many of you may have heard of it before, but it's Burt's Bees. And I was actually watching, who was I watching? I think it was Kelly Gooch, and she was talking about how Burt's Bees has a makeup line, and a lot of people don't realize that, even in like the average everyday consumer. But I don't think that the beauty community realizes that Burt's Bees has a makeup line, and they are certified cruelty-free. So this year there were a couple of products that really stuck out to me that I tried from Burt's Bees. I have some things on my list that I do want to try as well, but the 3 things that I have tried from Burt's Bees so far is the Luminizer, which is, it's a nourishing highlighter. This is in the shade Starlight. Then I have the Burt's Bees Color Nurture Cream Shadow. I just posted a video about this on December 2nd, letting you guys know about this shade right here. It's so pretty, which we'll get to in a minute. And then I also just tried this. It's called the Gloss and Glow. And this, funny story, was actually an accident. It was not supposed to be sent to me. I ordered a Makeup Revolution Bright Light Highlighter, and Ulta sent me this instead. And I was like, where's my Makeup Revolution Bright Light Highlighter? And so they were like, oh yeah, we'll send it to you. They were like, keep this one. So I did. This is a Gloss and Glow. I do have the color 935 Eat, Drink, and Be Cherry. So it is a very like dark purple shade. And I didn't expect it to be this dark. Like I literally thought this was just like a tinted lip balm. It was just going to be a wash of color. This shade is like really, really, really dark. And actually, ironically, it fits with the whole like holiday Christmas theme. So going back to this Burt's Bees little potted shadow right here. I did do this in the speed review. I'm kind of wondering if this could possibly be a dupe for those Charlotte Tilbury like cream shadows, because it's a very similar look for what I've been seeing online. But what I really like about this is it's a cream formula and it dries down to a powder finish, and it's like a no budge powder finish, and it layers really nicely either on top of another shadow. So like if I do a crease, or if I do like a dark and do a halo eye. And then we have the Luminizer from Burt's Bees, and this I bought because it had been raved about all over the internet as being a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wand. And when I got this, I was like, I really don't know if it is, because I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury, but I didn't like the applicator. And I was like, okay, let's move past it. Let's move past the applicator. It is great pairing it when you like mix it with a foundation. You can use it as a highlighter. I didn't find that it stripped my foundation at all, but I'm also the type of person who doesn't apply powder to my face before I do my cream. So I do all of my cream products and then I set everything down with a powder formula. So I didn't find that it stripped away my cream products at all. It is really beautiful when you just like mix it with a foundation. It adds a lot of like dew and natural glow to your face. And overall with like the Burt's Bees that I have tried so far, this brand has like completely, it has really shocked me because it is such a beautiful, like these are 3 different types of products. We have a face product, we have an eye product, we have, you know, a lip product, and all 3 of these perform really, really well. Right in the middle of a video, making a video, my mic decided to die. So I was talking to myself there for a minute without recording. Let's talk about this powder. This powder is from the brand No. 7. This is the first time I had ever tried No. 7 in general. I had heard they were more of a skincare brand, but that they did have makeup. And I heard that this was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder. Even the packaging between the two looks really, really similar. And I was like, oh, I gotta try this because I've heard that the Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder from Charlotte Tilbury is like really, really good. This is the Translucent Perfect Light Pressed Powder. No. 7 is also hypoallergenic. I don't believe that they are cruelty-free though, so I will have to leave a little note if it is or isn't. This powder though, pushing aside the fact that it may be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, I was very impressed with the quality of this powder. The way that it is so finely milled, it is like smooth. It is like effortless. It is a finely milled powder. Like it is just so, so beautiful on my skin. And I really like it because it also has like a brightening quality, and I did put it on today. It has a really brightening quality. It's super smooth on my under eyes. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about Tresluce Beauty. I did a whole like, I guess a tutorial slash like trying it because it was new at Ulta. And you can find this brand at Ulta, but I was introduced to this brand through my BoxyCharm. I actually received the I Am Alma palette from a BoxyCharm, and it came with some lashes, and I tried it, and I was taken aback by like how beautiful the formula was in the I Am Alma palette. Like the foils were just so pigmented and foily. They were just so pigmented. Like that's just like a little swipe of my finger, and just look how pretty those are. And I did like a really dramatic look with it. It was like neutral, and then my whole lid was that beautiful Grateful shade and this green shade, and they really pair well and layer well on your skin. I also have tried the Tresluce Beauty Darling. This is like a lip gloss. It's like glossy and very, to me, like it's just, it kind of feels like a tinted lip balm, but in a liquid form. It's super pretty, and it's such a beautiful like topper to a lip liner or to a really, really matte lipstick. And I found I really liked this formula because it's just so easy to work with, and it really moisturizes my lips as well. Out of all of the brands that really just kind of like took me aback this year, like who really just kind of like shocked me with like the quality of the performance of the makeup in general, one of them would have to be Tresluce Beauty. And nobody talks about this brand ever. It's not on YouTube. Nobody talks about it, and I don't know why. And the other brand I would have to say that nobody really talks about is Klarity Kosmetics. Their formula is beautiful. I don't understand how they get their foils to be so pigmented and so opaque. Like it is a formula all on its own. I have never seen a formula like the one from Klarity Kosmetics. And nobody talks about Klarity Kosmetics either. It's not a very well-known brand in the beauty community. And this brand and Klarity, they deserve more hype. So guys, thank you for tuning in till the end of this video. I hope you guys like this kind of content, some brands that really blew me away this year, brand new brands to me. If you guys like this kind of content, I really hope you subscribe to my channel so you can see more. So stay tuned for the next video in the 12 Days of Christmas series, and I really hope I get to see you in my next video. Bye!